What's going on, everyone? So, getting into training camp and then getting into preseason, there was a lot of talk and conversation about the matchup between Max Christie and Cam Reddish for that backup shooting guard role and which one is going to emerge on top. If I had to choose between the two, personally, I think Max Christie showed a little more consistency. I think Cam Reddish is still an excellent player, and I think that he can really locked down and showed that he can be very effective on the defensive side of the basketball. He was great in that regards, using his size to really just disrupt and kind of wreak havoc on that end of the basketball. Max Christie is kind of, in my opinion, fits sort of what the Lakers need alongside of Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell, LeBron James, guys like that just 3-and-D style shooter. But, again, Cam Reddish can defend more positions, right? With his size, he's got 6'8" size with, a 7'1" wingspan, things like that. But also Cam Reddish really seemed to struggle dribbling and handling the basketball. That was a bit of a concern. I mean, Max Christie had his blunders too, don't get me wrong, but just Cam Reddish looked like he didn't know how to dribble anymore, right? And just turning the ball over and trying to do these crossovers that just weren't hitting, weren't working. And it was just a bit concerning. Now, as far as the backup two guard goes, yes, I do think that both of these guys will get some playing time. I do think both of these guys will get some looks. And if we were a team that was, in a rebuild stage, or, I mean, we are a young team, but like if we were one of those young teams that were, just trying to get into the playoffs or, try to make some noise or something like that, then I definitely think that, kind of release both of them, let them, go out there and run. I don't mean release in the sense of like release them off the team. I mean like just put them out there, let them just run and see what you get, right? Like allow them to kind of flourish and blossom. But we're not that team. We are, by all aspects, a real legit contending team and a team that could very well be hoisting that Larry O'Brien trophy at the end of the season. So to me, as much as I like both of these guys and I want to see these guys play, to me it's more important about establishing like your rotation, getting guys building chemistry, having understanding, and trying to win as many games as possible, right? And you could still win games with Max Christie and Cam Reddish, but I just think if you really want to go with the backup two guard, you got to go with Taurean Prince, right? Taurean Prince showed that he is the prototypical 3-and-D guy, right? Can defend multiple positions, has some real size, shoot the three ball at a highly efficient clip, and Darvin Ham already experimented with him at the two guard, and it was fine. It worked great. And it was something that I talked about heavily all offseason, about playing Taurean Prince at the two. And, I mean, Taurean Prince has been so good, there's a real argument to start him at the three, right? And have him with D'Lo, Reeves, LeBron, and Anthony Davis. And that very well could be the case. We'll see. Right? I know that there's kind of rumors going around about Rui Hachimura, but also Jared Vanderbilt makes a lot of sense. But if you don't start Taurean Prince at the three, right? Like let's say they do go with Rui or they do go with Jared Vanderbilt. I think you should bring Taurean Prince as your backup two guard. I think he solves and fixes a lot of those questions in that backup two guard role, right? And I think that it kind of would balance out the roster nicely because now your backup unit, right? So like let's say it's Jared Vanderbilt, right? So now your starting five is D'Lo, Reeves, Vando, LeBron, and AD. You keep the continuity from last season. Again, if you want to slot Rui in there, it doesn't matter. But we're just saying that. And then your bench now is Gabe Vincent, Taurean Prince, Rui Hachimura, Christian Wood, and Jackson Hayes. I mean, you have a bench five that can compete with most starting fives in the league. I think that gives you the best balance. I think that gives you the best point of attack. I think that gives you everything that you need. You'd have a good defensive, just sizable bench unit, right? I mean, Gabe Vincent is just smallest player on the Lakers at 6'3", but he's, hard-nosed, gets after it, point of attack defensive guy. And then you have him slotted alongside, a 6'7" Taurean Prince, and then, a 6'8" Rui Hachimura, and then a 6'10" Christian Wood, and then a 7-foot Jackson. Like, I think that's the approach that Darvin Ham should take, right? We saw Max Christie, we saw Cam Reddish. And again, I'm not saying don't ever play those two guys. They're still going to see some minutes. They're still going to get on the basketball court in certain spots. But I just don't think we saw enough from either of those two to where it's like, okay, like they're the clear-cut backup two guard, and we're ready to let them go off and just dominate in the backup role, right? Or even fill in on any given night in a starting role because Reeves has the night off or D'Lo has the night off or something like that, right? Like, I don't think we got that from either Max Christie or Cam Reddish. But I do think we got that from Taurean Prince. I think we saw enough and we know enough from Prince that now we can look at that and go, okay, that's perfect, right? And again, if D'Lo or Reeves has the night off, you could easily just plug in Taurean Prince into that starting role, into the two, right? So, like, let's say D'Lo has the night off. You could just move Reeves over to the two, put Prince in, or over to the one, put Prince in at the two, and then have Vando at the 3, LeBron at the 4, and AD at the 5, and you're still off to the races, right? Like, I mean, you can make an argument to start Prince at the 2, even just for that size, that 3-point shooting, how well he played off the ball. But obviously, I don't believe that that'll happen, especially with D'Angelo Russell and how great he played this preseason. And then Austin Reeves is Austin Reeves. But I really like that idea. Again, if we were a team that was just, we're out there just kind of playing, like if this was last season and last season's roster, and it was just like, throw the young guys out there. Let them have some fun. Let them go out. Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they can, make some noise or something this season and maybe, really pick it up. But we're not, right? And we have a grueling schedule, especially to start, right? So to me, it's like we got to play the best players available. We got to play the guys that give us the best opportunity to win immediately. And I just think Taurean Prince is that guy. I think you can play him with the starters at times. You can play him off the bench at times. I just think he is one of the great compliments on this Lakers roster. And I really like the idea more and more of him just playing the backup 2 role. Keep the continuity from last season, especially if Jared Vanderbilt can continue to shoot the 3 ball well, right? I mean, we only have 1 game sample size, but he shot 66%. And so if you can keep that continuity and have that kind of leak into the actual season, and then now you have your established bench unit of, like I said, Vincent, Prince, Rui, Wood, and Hayes, I think that's great. You got great size off the bench. You got the mix and match versatility with all the guys. Like, I think that's the approach. I really do. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think, Prince has got to be the backup too? Do you think, no, you still got to give it to Reddish, still give it to, Christie. But also, I think that solves playing time for the other key guys, right? Because if you do go with Christie and you do go with, or Cam Reddish, right, then it's like now you're trying to divvy up forward minutes between Prince, Rui, and Wood, right? And this, I think, would just make everything more smooth. That makes everything more smoother, right? I just think that now you don't have to try to navigate and figure out who's getting minutes where, right? And then, you just kind of give Prince give Reddish and Christie spot minutes here and there. A guy has the night off. Now you're stepping into a bigger role and getting, your 15 minutes or whatever. I just think that if you go this route with Prince, it's clean across the board to me, right? You got your starting 5, you got your bench 5, You mix and match along the way. All of the pieces fit seamlessly. All the pieces fit beautifully, right? I'm not saying you can't play Prince anywhere else, right? You can play him at the 4, you can play him at 3 in spots, but I also think that he just gives you so much versatility defensively, because that's a big bench unit. Again, you got 6'6", 6'7" Prince, 6'8" Ruiz, 6'10" Wood, and then 7-foot Hayes. That's tough, right? Your smallest guy would be Gabe Vincent, but we've seen he can hold his own on the defensive side. So I like that. I do. But again, let me know. Do you feel the same? Down in the comments below.